Galaxy S21 Ultra, Xiaomi Mi 11. This is my Antutu throttling test. Hi guys, it's Frankie from Frankie Tech. Good to see you guys again, and I'm here with my Antutu throttling test of the Galaxy S21 Ultra versus the Xiaomi Mi 11. We're going to be running the Antutu benchmark on these phones, and we'll be keeping track of the CPU and ambient temperatures of these phones. Is the Xiaomi Mi 11 going to throttle and overheat again? Is the Galaxy S20 Ultra going to hold its own? Let's have a look. Alright, let's get started, and you see we have Antutu benchmark and the CPU monitor, the only apps open on these phones. So don't worry about these scores, and let's start this test. Test again, test again. Let's get started. Alright, so here's test number 1, and here you see the results. 639,000 on the Galaxy S21 Ultra, and that is the highest score I've gotten so far on this phone. 676 on the Xiaomi Mi 11. Let's check the CPU monitor. 45 degrees, 50 degrees on the Mi 11. So almost a 5-degree difference. And measuring the ambient temperatures, 40.1, 44.3. So nearly a 5-degree difference after test number 1. And also wanted to mention, guys, the battery when these phones started, the S21 Ultra was at 45% and the Mi 11 was at 81%. So both have dipped about 6% so far. So let's go here and go to test number 2. Here we go. Alright, with test number 2 completed, and look at this. Some major dips in scores on both of these phones. The Galaxy S21 Ultra down to 562,000. It dropped almost 70,000 points. And the Mi 11 is down to 613. Now checking the CPU monitor, 55 degrees, 45 degrees. As you see, the Mi 11 has now dimmed its display. Samsung does have a history of throttling its phones, especially if they get too hot. It would rather dip the performance and keep the phone cool than have what's going on here with the Xiaomi Mi 11. And check the ambient temperatures here, 41.7. 46.9 degrees. Incredible. And here you see that the S21 Ultra has dipped 4% now to 35, and the Mi 11 is now to 67%. And it is 24 degrees in this room, guys, so it is a bit warmer today. But here we go, test number 3, and let's hope these phones do not melt. Test number 3 completed. My phone ran out of storage here, so we continue this test, and let's look at the results. 560,000, 626, and check the CPU monitors. 57 degrees, 48 degrees on the S21 Ultra. So clearly a tale of two phones here, and the Mi 11, it's safe to say, is doing something very different here than the S21 Ultra. I think it's trying to keep the scores high, but it's coming at the expense of this dim display and serious overheating issues. Measuring the ambient temperatures, 40.3, 45.3. And now let's go to the last test on these phones. Here we go. Alright, and there we go, guys. Wrapped up test number 4, and look at these scores. 514,000 on the S21 Ultra, 631 on the Mi 11. So I gotta hand it here to the Mi 11. It did not dip as much as the S21 Ultra, which dropped over 100,000 points from the beginning. But now let's check the CPU monitors, because that's a completely different story. 58 degrees, and the S21 Ultra finally hits 50 degrees Celsius here in this test. Now measuring the ambient temperatures, let's have a look. 42.8, 48.5. One of the highest temperatures I've ever measured once again here on the Mi 11. And now let's look at the batteries, 26%. So from 45 to 26, the S21 Ultra dipped 19% in battery, while the Mi 11 is at 56% and it dipped 25 percentage points in battery. So that's the end of this test. Let's wrap it up. And now let me share my final verdict on this test. Alright, so that is it, guys, and my final verdict here. Who is the winner and who is the loser of this test? To be honest, I don't think we have any winners in this test. And for each of these phones, it was a tale of failing one way or failing the other. In the case of the Galaxy S21 Ultra, a terrific device, no doubt, but in this extreme Antutu test, instead of choosing to overheat, throttle the performance significantly, dipping almost 115,000 points, but at the same time, that allowed it to stay cooler for longer, only registering 50 degrees once at the very end of this test. Meanwhile, the Xiaomi Mi 11, which is honestly very hot to the touch right now, almost uncomfortable to touch, has dimmed its display. It has reached temperatures that even right now you see are still so hot, and yet it did manage to try to stay closer to its original score of 684,000. We're clearly seeing two different approaches from Samsung and Xiaomi here in dealing with these intense CPU loads, but this is a clear case where there really are no winners, and it's really starting to seem like the Snapdragon 888 is almost too much power for the size of a phone, that you have two options. Given the thermal envelope, you either throttle the performance or you just end up going to overheating hell, as the case with this Xiaomi Mi 11. But hit me up in the comments. Which of these phones would you pick? I guess if you were talking throttling, you could give the edge here to the Mi 11, but come on guys, 58 degrees, that is just unacceptable as well. But hit me up in the comments, I'd love to hear about it. And that's it for this video. If you liked it, give me that thumbs up. And if you love the content of Frankie Tech, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon for future updates. I tell you what guys, all these tests just make me more excited for this Snapdragon 870, which I think will bring the best balance of improving performance from the previous generation, but also not running so hot like this 888 has in my testing. But I guess we shall wait and see. So that's it, and this is where I leave you by saying, this is Frankie Tech, signing off. Have a good one. Damn guys, you could boil an egg on these phones.